Destroy Depression Review, is it legit or scam? For the affection of me, I could not move up with a simple reliable program to fight depression on the internet. Destroy Depression. Seriously, you have no plan how little there is on the internet regarding self-support programs for depression. And most of those that I could spot and try out absorbed. Either they were highly intimate, very sweet, or just plain worthless. The founders of these programs managed to stuff them with several fluff and show the most essential of advice. And suddenly they would ask $99 per month. Bah. Check link in description for great offers on this product. Then this fellow came along, James Gordon. Who is James Gordon? I fell down upon James Gordon by complete chance. I was seeking for articles of anti-depression products, and there I found him. A former victim of depression who created his style, and through hard work was responsible for getting better. The reviews seemed practical, but when I got onto his website, my early reaction was, this sounds like a huge scam. Sure, he was introduced on a number of big sites, but it honestly looked like he was struggling too complicated to sell me his stuff. All the same, I looked at his program and shot him an email with a couple of queries about his product. He returned me within a couple of hours. This was different. I was not adopted to such an achievement of devotion and assistance from any program that I have ever invested. He acknowledged all of my queries and was certainly through with them, too. For that reason only I selected to try his program out. At lowest, if I finished up regretting it, I could ever get a refund. The product, Destroy Depression. The original program breaks down into 4 e-book guides and 2 other video courses that you can purchase if you loved the early material. These Destroy Depression e-books include the Destroy Depression e-book CBT workbook and devices, the Depression-Free Mediterranean Diet Goal Setting Workshop. In my sincere opinion, when known adequately through and implemented together, do these books have an excellent value. If you simply take bits and parts off each one of them, you will not drop practically any value off of them. The first point you should learn about this system is that it is not a mysterious solution. You will be working deep and hard to detect any improvement. You will require to read and start trying all of his tips and tricks right off the bat. So what do we have here? Surely the Destroy Depression e-book. The primary book of all of these books, and the one that values to initiation to the full system. It appears by describing Gordon's special experiences as a depression sufferer, how many antidepressants and medicines he was feeding, how regular psychiatry did him no great, and how he followed his own solution as a result of that. Like I have said before, this part pretty much resonated with me, so I enjoyed reading. He later delivered up a pretty ridiculous statistic about 80% of individuals suffering from depression. And started reporting about stuff like the Hamilton Depression Rating Scale and the information that there is no such thing exist like magic pills. Creator's own mindset reminded me of my own, so that was pretty impressive. Then there is the specific book. Basically, it cracks down into 7 chapters, each of the chapter which discusses one point that you can work out to fix your depression. Check link in description for great offers on this product. Chapters included in Destroy Depression program are Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, CBT, Sleep, Exercise, Diet, People, Sunlight, Help Yourself by Serving Others. The book is excellent and straightforward to figure out. The book does provide some extremely practical advice. Not alone that, but it also discusses some of the very underrated issues like SAD, seasonal anxiety disorder, and sleeping disorders that are generated by depression. The one point that takes place to mind after studying this book is how it works out and do not have any fluff to it. The information was on point and could be implemented directly by anyone. It is definite that this book is all about the action. The biggest issue I had found with this book was the evidence that in his pursuit to keep things short and exact to the point, Gordon skipped on some highly necessary data. For example, some of his tips on the sleep subject could have been more comprehensive, and his presentation was a tad lacking there away from that. This workbook is a pretty good tone by itself, producing the general principle for Gordon's entire process, but it is simply complemented by the other e-books in this program. All of the same, for what it is, the Destroy Depression e-book is stable and returns you lots of value. CBT Workbook and Tools. The next e-book in this program is the CBT Workbook. The concept of CBT is that our expectations, behaviors, and sentiments are very closely connected. Not alone that, but they influence each other regularly. CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy, discusses the knowledge that by taking action, behavioral, and transforming the way you perceive any given circumstance, cognitive, you can influence your emotions as well. The premise is incredibly simple, but the highest power of this workbook is the execution. There are many diagrams, summaries, calls to action, and assertions to be found here. There is a particular process expressed in the book, one that is very flexible to follow. Aside from the enormous plan, there's a massive range of tips and tricks that James Gordon has covered. Ones that would not go amiss on any of us. It takes the CBT episode from the Destroy Depression course, which seemed lacking, and completely transforms it into a dominant tool for you to use. Without moving into too much detail, this guidebook is probably, in my conclusion, the best in terms of basic value among all 4 e-books. The depression-free Mediterranean diet. This book actually recommended me to a whole new perception in terms of dieting. The notion that James Gordon presents is a natural one. Every diet is based on limitations. Fat, carbs, calories and the related. Well, how about a diet which concentrates on none of these? No, this diet has but one target, to make you as mentally as healthy as possible. To realize that, James looked at countries with historically low figures of depression. He then examined their meal and moved up with this list of foods. In a way, this is not so much an e-book as it is a dietary cheat piece. None of his episodes are overly extensive, but they have enough of an answer to make his point. Some would claim it is lacking, but from my viewpoint, it is severely practical. The author uses short sections to deal with a topic as big as diet, in remarkably few phrases, without giving up anything from the general idea. This causes this book genuinely extraordinary, in my view. It consists of all the do's and don'ts of mental health-based dieting, and for what it is, it looks at a beautiful job. The Goal-Setting Workshop. The CBT book may be the strongest one, but the Goal-Setting Workshop is the most valuable and thought-provoking one. In this book, the author suggests the conception of procrastination as the villain, and pursuing a definite goal as the solution. This goal is the peace of mind, and there are 5 main backbones of happiness. These are health and energy, relationships meaning economic freedom, inner peace and spirituality. According to Gordon, by setting targets that can correct the capacity of any of these 5 pillars, you will get closer and closer to happiness. Heck, like the altering of actually trying to reach them is enough to push depression further away. He then begins explaining how to really achieve these goals. Discussing the proper ways to take effort, points to avoid, and how to have the correct attitude for it. This book actually going well with the CBT, Cognitive Behavior Therapy, book. Between the two of them, setting targets and reaching them can turn into just that much easier. Click here to read this before buying 60-second panic solution. The program is on the small side, and that is good. In terms of the cost-to-word ratio, the program ends up being underwhelming in terms of length for price. But, accept it or not, that is indeed a good thing. This program has similar to Zero Fluff and provides a massive variation of advice that other programs would waste many of the hours of your time before actually handing them over. The 60-day no questions asked refund policy was definitely what I needed. Seriously, if a program is non-refundable, I would not even try looking into it. Nor would I usually suggest it to any of you. If you finished up regretting it for whatever reason, feel free to refund it and look at your money back, just like that. The creator recognizes that no particular solution is continuing to fit everyone, but the vast majority of individuals could nevertheless further from it, no questions about it. Check link in description for great offers on this product. Pros. Deals with a variety of methods to deal with depression. Action-based. Little to no fluff. Has a 60-day refund option. Relatively cheap when measured to therapy. Excellent support. Gordon replies to emails fast. Lifetime access to a program that really bothers to update itself. Cons. Is not a magical medicine and will demand intention to apply. People with exceptionally severe depression would not benefit from it fully. In its attempt to be extremely practical, it has glazed over some details here and there. Few more things to know about Destroy Depression program. The Destroy Depression trademark system will teach and help you how to Take complete control over your prospects, feelings, and emotions so that you can get rid of any depression in your life. Forever free yourself from your negative expectations and your perceptions of self-blame. Reclaim your strength over your mind, your expectations, and your life. End your discomfort from depression once and for all. Discover the truth about depression, including the terrible truth about antidepressant drugs, and why their profit rate is so low. The terrifying link between depression and suicide. The root sources of depression, why conventional analyses have such low benefit rates, and why it keeps turning back no matter how hard you try. The classic systems which are easy to carry out, which help you to tackle the roots of your depression and remove them from your life for good. Do you suffer from any of these symptoms? You are always depressed, always have low energy, and you ever struggle to bring about everything on your daily to-do list. It is terrible to find the motivation to work anything, including working out with friends or finishing tasks. You feel nervous and depressed about hard things in life. Negative expectations and sentiments of hatred are usually playing themselves in your mind. You seem restless, annoyed, and often lash out at the people who are dearest to you. It can be severe to fall asleep or remain asleep. Regardless of how tired you may be, you cannot focus on anything. Your mind seems like jelly, and you are more sloppy than ever. You have inconveniences, backaches, joint pain, and other physical disorders that you cannot pinpoint the problem and do not respond to ordinary treatments. Some days you felt sorrowful or guilty about the things you have not done, and regrets play tough on your mind. Even when there is a room full of individuals around you, you still felt lonely and generally worry that no one really likes you. You have troubles with your responsibility, and you are setting up to feel confused by your own life. Final verdict on Destroy Depression program. Among all depression-based self-help devices, I understand that this one is my favorite. It is immensely practical and advances many ideas and courses of performance that I individually believe. Somewhat, assuming it is fully refundable, there is a very slight battle to actually trying it out. You should surely give it a go, but only if you are genuinely fixed to make an effort to transform your life for the better. Final score: 9/10 a must-buy program.